inside of Ganesian, you can cancel medium attacks into themselves if you press the medium attack plus the light attack. So if you were to try to cancel crouching medium kick into forward medium kick, it's not possible unless you press light kick or light punch with it. Now, what does this have to do with crab walk? Well, most people think that crab walk is standing medium punch into standing light kick, like this, right? But that's not actually the case. So what's happening for crab walk is that you are canceling standing medium punch into another standing medium punch. Now, when you cancel standing medium punch into standing light kick, it gives you 32 pixels of distance. This same thing can also be done at a 12 pixel distance if you do it too long into the animation of standing medium punch when it's starting to recover, rather than when its forward momentum is going forward. So this is about a 6-frame window in which you can press the button again in order to get the maximum momentum forward for your next attack. So the way that this looks is like this, where you do medium punch and you're Kara canceling it into another medium punch, which gives you 31 pixels of distance. So why this matters is because if you do this correctly and you tap forward while you're doing it, you are getting a slight movement between your standing medium punches and at the end. So instead of going to pixel 290, I went to pixel 281. So if you're doing this correctly, you will be able to sweep Ryu after 5 crab walks. But I didn't do it correctly here. I was a little bit slow on one of them, or 2 of them. There we go. So when you do this correctly, you're able to sweep Ryu. Now why this is because the last one is technically a Kara crouching roundhouse, and it forces crouching roundhouse to move forward even more than it already does. Now, crouching roundhouse automatically moves forward 32 pixels on its own. So this is also why when you do Kara's zenpo inside of Ganesian, it actually moves you forward where it does not if you do it outside of Ganesian. It shouldn't move you forward if you're doing it correctly. Unless you're actually tapping forward for the zenpo itself, and then you're getting the slight micro walk for it rather than a cancel on this, because outside of Ganesian, this does not move you forward. So you can do this in a couple different ways. KO does this like this, where he uses medium punch, light punch. Yakun and Sho and Issei use medium punch, light kick. Now, the differences in these, in my opinion, is how you actually have to put your wrist to make them function properly. Especially if you're using light kick with your thumb. So when you're doing light punch, medium punch, you can hover your hand and use your thumb as the sort of fulcrum to move your wrist up and down. And this is one of the reasons why I think KO does it, is because when he's playing, he moves his hand a lot. So being able to freeform move your hand and then sort of pivot on your thumb while doing this is very strong. Whereas when you're doing it as medium punch, light kick, if you want to do it as fast as humanly possible, you sort of have to anchor your wrist down to the cabinet or your stick. And then depending on if you're using your ring finger and your index finger, or if you're using your thumb and your ring finger or whatever, or index, or, you know, however you want to actually do it, you still actually have to anchor your hand. And that's why it's most commonly done with the ring finger and thumb, or the ring finger and index finger when doing this. Because you can basically just like pseudo lift your wrist very small in order to get it to come out. Same thing like this, where you can barely move your wrist while pivoting on your thumb for light punch and medium punch. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can also do this as a way to Kara into Fierce Punch. You can also do it if you're capable into carry medium kick like this, but you do have to do 6 or 7 reps depending on how your opponent is moving. I've actually won a couple games on streams with this, but it is very difficult to do consistently. So you can also cancel it into forward medium kick. You can cancel it into whatever you want. But realistically, because this is just canceling into itself within a very small time frame, within 3 to 6 frames, it's about as fast as you can go. Doing it faster will move you further, faster. So if you have 1 frame or 2 frames between each rather than, you know, the 6 frame limit that you have to get the maximum distance for your medium punch movement, then obviously you're going to move faster because you're getting more medium punch inputs in the same time span. And that's the difference between doing it efficiently and doing it as ungodly as you can see Yakun and Issei doing it sometimes, is they're getting it at that 2 or 3 frame window rather than the like 5 or 6 frame window that you have in order to actually get the distance to go forward. So being able to anchor your hand and then mash to your heart's content, as long as the buttons are done at the same time, you will zoom across the screen. Alright, so there's a couple ways that you can do this, right? You can anchor your hand down here. Very fast. You can anchor your hand closer. And then you can anchor on your palm down here and on your thumb going like this. You can also use your ring finger and your index finger. You get the idea. So if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so we'll do it once up close as well. So you anchor down here. Right? You anchor up here. Claw grip, right? And then you anchor on your wrist. Or you anchor here. That's pretty much it.